So I've had this goal to pay my house off at age 30 since I was like 18. And I'm making this video to show others that they can do it too. And I've identified 6 kind of principles that I've noticed that are key to me being able to meet that goal, and I'm gonna walk you through those. So the first one is living below your means, not living within your means, but below your means. Some things that I've done are limiting my spending on wants, and you also need to learn to distinguish from wants and needs if you're gonna do that. I dined out less frequently. It's kind of amazing what $5 to $10 can do here and there. A big one is cars. Like I always buy used cars, and I even take it a step further, and like right now I still drive older cars. My wife's car is 10 years old, and I actually got it at auction because it has hail damage, but we've had it for three years, and we could sell it for even the same or more than what we paid. My truck's actually 19 years old, and it was lightly wrecked in the front, and I fixed it. But I've never had a car payment because I've always lived below my means and bought older cars that I can fix and stuff. So paying cash for a car, you can save money multiple ways. You're saving on interest that you don't have to pay. If you have a car payment, then you have to have full coverage because the banks require it. And it's more expensive than if you just had liability, where my truck's only worth $4 or $5 grand or $4 grand, you know. I just get liability. And older cars cost less to register and insure. So that's a big part, I think, of saving money is on your cars. I feel like cars can be the worst investment. They just depreciate. Buying a home is another way you can live within your means. I kind of think it's good to buy in levels, like buy a starter home, one that you can not only afford, but you can easily afford. You can almost afford to pay double. Sometimes it's embarrassing to live below your means. People sometimes look at the car you drive and it's like, oh man, he must not be doing well. But the way I look at it is living below your means. It's better to look poor and be rich than look rich and be poor. I've read The Millionaire Next Door, and it talks about that. Like, the millionaires aren't the people that look rich, but the people that live within their means. I've always avoided unnecessary debt. So if you live within your means, you don't spend money on things, and you don't go into debt for things that you don't need. And the point of living below your means brings me to my second point. Living below your means, I was able to save a lot of money. And the second point is to use your money to make you more money. I'm self-employed, so I need money to make me more money. My wife and I own a retail store, like a boutique gift shop, and we do online with that. That's kind of my main business. I need money to buy product, to pay employees, to pay rent, all the stuff. I need money to be able to make more money. Another business is my shave ice business, and I'm actually here right now. So the store is connected to our shave ice stand. I set it up that way so that I can, if my shave ice stand didn't do well, I could run both because the counters are right next to each other. So you have a walk-up window, but you can watch my other videos for that. So it takes me money to make money. If your money is wrapped up in a new car or in things that you want, you can't use that money to make you more money to invest. So that's why it's good to live, when you're starting out especially, you can have those things you want later, but when you're starting out, I think it's really good to use your money to make you more money and not have it wrapped up in something else. That's opportunity cost. If your money's in a new car, you can't use it to buy a new product and make more money with it. Point 3 is increase your income. You can do this several ways. I think a good way is education. You know, you can learn. I don't have a college degree. I'm not educated that way, but I've always educated myself. Educate yourself in the businesses you do. So a good way to increase your income is to start a business, or you can grow a business, or a side hustle. It's kind of what I have a few of those. The shave ice business is a side hustle. I also rent bounce houses. I'm so glad I did that. I think that's what helped me pay the house off faster, because my wife and I are used to living on one income. She's home with our kids. We don't count on the second incomes, the side hustles. So all that money can be put into the house or saved. So I recommend living within your means and investing in other businesses and growing your income. But you also have to avoid Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law is when your income goes up, so does your spending. Like, you want to spend more because you make more. So if you can master that and not get caught up in Parkinson's law and not increase your spending when your income increases, that's when you can save a lot of money and make more money with your money. The fourth principle I think is very, very important, is to pay extra on your mortgage. Buy a house below your means so that you can pay that extra payment all the time. And even if you have a bad month and you can't make the full payment, it's really easy to scrape together enough money. So my first house was a townhouse. My loan was $95,900. So not very much. My payment was only $556.83. But only $140 went towards principal, and it was a 30-year loan. So $556 is nothing, It's easy to be able to make that payment. But I always paid extra because it's crazy how much. So I got on a mortgage calculator, a prepayment one. So if you pay extra, how fast can it pay off? And if I just paid $100 extra on that, it would take 8 years and 7 months off the mortgage, which I thought was insane just for $100. And then $200 would take off 13 years and 3 months, and $300 would take off 16 years and 3 months on a 30-year loan. So you cut it more than half just by paying $300 extra every month, which I could do because I didn't owe very much, and the payment was so low. And because my mortgage was so inexpensive, I could pay almost double most of the time. So that's a very important thing, because if you pay extra, then it goes into the house and it's equity, and you'll see it later. My fifth point is to buy houses in levels. So start small and buy it within your means. A lot of the stuff I'm talking about is stay within your means and pay extra. And then you can roll that equity. That's also part of the fifth point, is to roll the equity over into your next house. So I sold the townhouse and I had extra money, and I rolled that over into my next house, which we actually built a house. By the time we finished building our house, we owed about the same as what we owed on our townhouse, so we could roll over all that equity, and our payment was roughly the same, same amount basically. So that's important. You start small, you pay that down, because it's easier to pay down a $100,000 house twice than it is to pay off a $200,000 house. My sixth point is we built the new house ourselves. My brother is a contractor, and he helped me a ton and showed me how to do stuff, and my dad's also was a contractor on the side and built his own houses and stuff, and they knew how to do everything. They showed me how to do stuff. They kind of showed me it, and then I kind of had to do the work, and it was a hard year for my wife and I to come, and I had to run my businesses and then also be learning how to build a house. We did a lot of the work. We did framing, concrete, plumbing, electrical, painting, windows, doors, trim, tile, cabinets, roofing, flooring, and even the landscaping. So we did a lot of the work, but we ended up saving $100,000, from when we built it, for what houses were going for about the time we were building it. And that's not even counting all the upgrades we got because we did the work ourselves. And now it's crazy because house prices are insane. It's appreciated another $100,000, from what we when we were finished, what the going rate was. Now it's up another $100,000, which is kind of crazy. But it's interesting because if on your houses, that's the only way. If you live there for 2 years and you sell that, you don't have to pay any capital gains on the earnings. So it's basically one of the only ways I know that you can avoid taxes on income, because you've lived there and you don't you don't have to pay it since you've been there 2 years, which is kind of cool. And I'd also like to say that that's probably learning skills and doing a little extra like that, like the that's probably considered a side hustle. Doing that extra little bit, learning how to do some work on your home, and you don't have to build a house, but you can remodel it and improve it that way by doing the work. I think it's like half of the house is labor costs. Half of if you look at material cost and labor, about half of your house almost is labor. It's probably like 40%. And we also, on this build, we didn't build a mansion because I wanted to keep my payment low. We built 3,300 square feet, so we built 1,650 main and then 1,650 square feet basement, but the basement's not finished, which I can go finish it now and get that done. But that's another point, is don't just stay within your means. If you stay within your means and you pay extra, it's crazy how fast you can pay your house off. So that's what I did. And I also tried to save a little money, because you want to have a nest egg and a rainy day fund. And then once our savings were about the same as what we owed on our house, we took that money and we plopped it down on the house, and it felt good. About 4 or 5 months ago, we paid it off.